Okay, this is the last video where you have to watch me talk. So you have made it all the way to syllabus. So I'm just gonna run through with you guys, like what are the expectations for the class, like how are you gonna be graded, and just basic information about the class so that hopefully you know it and you're ready to rock and roll for this year. So I gave you guys a copy of the syllabus in the Google Classroom. So go ahead and open that copy. I mean, it's something that you can have. You can like make a copy, add it to your drive. But I am also going to, in this video, like show you a copy of the syllabus. So this is what your syllabus looks like for this year. This is all my like basic information, like a normal syllabus would have. Um, and course description, course goals. So let's get down to course units. What we are going to be studying this year is going to start off with matter and measurement, as I've already told you, because I gave you the matter and measurement unit plan. That is going to change over when we switch to atomic theory, which will be in about 3 weeks. And then we're going to talk about periodic table, and then we'll talk about chemical bonding. So that's where we're going to end by the time the semester ends. So your midterm is going to encompass all 4 of these concepts and is going to focus on the skills that you should be gaining within those concepts. After fall break, or winter break, I guess now, after winter break, when we come back in January, we're actually going to finish up chemical bonding. We're only going to go about halfway through the unit, and that's just so there's more of an even split from semester to semester. So we'll finish up chemical bonding, and then we'll move into chemical reactions. We'll do gas laws, and we'll also do stoichiometry and the mole. So it gets a lot more like mathy, chemical reactionsy in the second semester. We do a lot of understanding molecules and atoms and the tools that we're working with in the first semester. So again, please, 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 ASAP, please get a college-ruled composition notebook. And again, if you get a notebook that has at least 100 sheets, then that's fine with me. It doesn't have to be composition. It's just easiest to get one that's composition because they're $1 and they definitely have enough pages. It would be ideal to have a whiteboard marker. You don't have to have one this year. I don't believe we can share whiteboards this year, but definitely get your own scientific calculator, again, because I can't share mine with you. Have some kind of colored pencils, and obviously you're going to need a Chromebook. The glue is good for you guys to have for the certain materials we're going to put into your chemical or your composition notebook. But again, if you can't get it, it's not a big deal. The big ones are the composition notebook, the calculator, the colored pencils, obviously have your Chromebook. Okay, so let's talk about how grades are going to work in this class. You should know by now that Verado is just an SVG school. So the way that we use standards-based grading in chemistry, or in any of your science classes actually, so something to expect even next year when you guys move into your last science class or just your next science class, is our standards for science are science practices. So there's 8 science practices, and I will show you guys what those look like as the year goes on. But you're going to see 8 science practices represented in your gradebook. Okay, so actually, let me show you. I have to like switch over my tab what they are. And I have color coded them too, because that's the kind of teacher I am. And those color codes are going to come up in your unit plans as well. So you're going to be graded on being able to ask questions and define problems, develop and use models, planning from evidence, and obtaining, evaluating, and communicating information. So these 8 categories make up your entire gradebook. So I believe that means they're each about 17% of your overall grade. Let me just double check on that. 1 divided by 8. No, I'm sorry, yes. Okay, 12.5%. It's 17 for my AP class. So each category represents about 12.5% of your overall grade. Also, the way that grades work are, as you go through the quarter or the semester, you should be getting better at those skills, right? So the very last assessment in each of those skills is the one that is going to count towards your overall grade. So let's say for the category asking questions and defining problems, At first, you get like a 2 in that skill category, but then I assess you again and you get a 3, and then I assess you again and you get a 4. What is going to count towards your overall grade? The 4, because that was the last thing you got. Okay, the contrary to that is maybe at the beginning of the year, you got a 4 on developing and using models, but then it got harder as the semester went on and you went down to a 3, and then you went down to a 2. Well, what grade are you going to get at the end of the year? A 2, okay, because it was the last one that you got. So I offer opportunities at the end of the semester to kind of like make up those grades. So like at the end, you can say like, I know that I got a 2 on my MTE for this part, but I really can do better in that category. So we're going to have opportunities for you to kind of make that up at the end so you can end the semester with the best grade possible. But the best way to make sure that you end the semester with the best way possible is by doing all the practices, doing your best on the quizzes. And if you don't like the score you have on a quiz, then you need to do the retake work and you need to retake that quiz, especially because by the end, when we get to your midterm, you're going to need to be able to do that skill again in order to get a high score in that category. Okay, so always know that there are retake opportunities. Take advantage of those retake opportunities and make sure you are mastering everything as we go. Okay, so just make sure as long as you stay on top of things, everything should be great with your grade. And if you feel like you're getting behind, there are lots of opportunities for you to come in and talk to me, for you to do a retake and make sure that you are doing the best you can do in all of these different categories. Okay, so hopefully that kind of makes sense a little bit. So I went over your expectations already, but these are like the formal expectations that I need you to abide by. Even like in the hybrid setting, it's a little bit different. You have to be live with me at the beginning of the class, and then I also am going to take attendance again at the last 10 minutes of the class. So most of the time I try to talk to you guys, give you your instructions, give you your information that you need, and then send you off to do an activity or practice or something that you can do independently. But I do need you to come back in and be live with me in the last 10 minutes of class in order to get your full attendance for that day, and maybe like ask me any questions you have or just finish up any exit ticket we might have. Okay. So just remember, even online, even in person, I expect you to be respectful. I expect you to be responsible. Okay. I have information here as well about consequences. It's always going to be like a warning. I'll conference with you. I'll get parents involved. It's going to progress, but hopefully it's not going to come to that. Hopefully you guys, I understand sometimes we all need to check, but hopefully you guys are able at this age to just be like, all right, I see you, Miss Lewis. I'm sorry. And just correct yourself. Okay. Let's have that be the case. Don't have your phone out, whether you're online or whether you're in person. I don't need you to use your phone at all, so it shouldn't be out. You can definitely text somebody or Snapchat or whatever after class, before class, after school, lunch, all the appropriate times to be doing that. Absence work is always all going to be on Google Classroom. I think this setting especially is the easiest, most straightforward absent work policy that you could possibly get, because everything functions on Google Classroom, everything's there. If you miss something, you just have to go back in and go grab it. Remember that my virtual classroom is really important for that. You can click on the little notebook on the virtual classroom and all your notes will be there that you may have potentially missed, etc. The restroom is going to work a little bit differently. If you're at home, you need to go, you got to go. If you're in school, then there is going to be a QR code that you guys have to fill out. There's like a procedure for it. You guys are going to need to, again, you're going to use a QR code. You're going to have to fill in a survey. You're going to have to check out when you go to the restroom, and you're going to have to check back in when you go to the restroom. Same with the nurse. So it would be ideal if you could use the restroom in between classes, at lunch, before school, after school. And, so the restroom use is really for emergencies only when you're in the class, because we're going to be monitoring you and making sure that you're monitored, basically. So make sure that you are using it only when you absolutely have to. There will be no food and drink at all. There's no removing of masks in my class at all. It's also a lab, so that's why it's just not allowed at all. But if you're at home, you can drink and eat food, whatever. Late work, they have a half-life of 1 day. So what that means is if your assignment is late, you get half credit after 1 day, and then after 2 days, half of that would be 25%, and then after that would be 12.5%, and then after that would be 6.25%. So it basically degrades in value the later it is. So make sure assignments are turned in on time, you guys, okay? I also have at the end all that additional SBG info for you because things are a little strange this year. It goes over again how the final grade is calculated. So remember that these standards in the science classes are your science practices. I showed you guys all 8 of those science practices. And again, if your first score is a 4, and then your second score is a 1, and your third score is a 1, but then your last score is a 4, then the 4 is what you're going to get. So it's based on most recent evidence. And then essentially it's going to be about 12.5% of your overall grade for each of those different categories. Okay? So you'll definitely get a hang of it the more the class goes on. Hopefully you guys get an opportunity to see, you had the opportunity to see how that worked in first quarter. So hopefully you're a little bit more used to it this quarter. But if you have any questions, just let me know. Okay? So the assignment that is going along with this video is going to be your syllabus agreement. So I posted that with this video. So you guys are going to do your syllabus agreement, and then you can move on to topic number 4. And remember, topic number 4 doesn't involve me. So you get a little break from me today, and I will see you tomorrow. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. And again, see you tomorrow.